Hey everybody, welcome back to Honeybee Hollow Gardens. I don't have too much grass on my face. I just got done weed eating. I was gonna cut grass, but it's too wet out here. It's been raining the past couple of days, so I just weed eated. But right now we're gonna head down to the mushroom yard. As you can see, everything's leafed out a lot. This is an old creek bottom close to my house. It's the only place we can keep mushrooms. I haven't checked any of these yet. And as I said, it's been raining for 2 days, so excited to see. I'm actually probably gonna come down here today and scythe this trail. When the skidders came through here, when they were cutting wood, they left these huge gullies, and you can't really run a lawnmower or anything through here. I need some sort of cheap fill material or something, but I'm gonna turn the camera around so y'all can see this bottom. Hopefully we actually get mushrooms. Who knows though? Yeah, it's beautiful. A lot of these shiitake logs, actually most of them are cold weather. So I don't know if there's any warm. There's one warm stack down here, but it was actually sort of a cool rain, so maybe it didn't even fruit. No. Eating this log up. Yeah. No shiitakes, but I am going to go mushroom hunting tomorrow. Wish y'all would get a bunch of videos here back to back. So I'm sure we'll find something tomorrow in the we're gonna go to the old growth floodplains, but I'm going to get out of here and we'll open back up at the house, and then we'll run down to the older forest garden that I have. It's about 5 years old. If y'all have never seen a garden tour from me before, there's a lot of stuff going on, so we'll see you in just a minute. That was a hibiscus I planted like 2 weeks ago. It's doing really good there. I planted some little lemon trees that I got from Dr. Kibler's. I'm gonna pause this and go get my microphone because I'm gonna be talking from the back of the camera and the audio sucks when I do that, and I didn't even think about it. So yeah, I'll be right back. Oh, okay, it's on. All right, I'm back with this weird puffy thing on my chest. As I was saying, right there, grass in my mouth. Right there by the house, I got a little lemon tree that I just avoided weed eating. And as I said, it's been raining the past few days, so we haven't been down here, or we haven't been outside in general. So the strawberries are exploding. Look at them. Oh man. Oh goodness. Oh, those are so good. Oh, there's probably 50 all up in here. If you get to looking, they're everywhere. Yeah, look at all of them. Taylor's got to come out here and pick these. It's a huge strawberry, but we got these from some friends of ours from the farmer's market last year, and they were just little plants, and they've just been trailing all over the place. I haven't done much weeding through them. They've pretty much outcompeted everything that grows up in them. I have pulled some things here and there, but they're doing really good. Look at them. I mean, I'm gonna get one more for the road, and then we're going to continue. This one's got a lot of dirt on it. A little dirt's good for you. Okay. Planted a bunch of these figs out here the other day. This is bee balm. These are the little rows where I'm eventually going to put some perennials in. But I do have like little things like garlic here and there. And the scapes just started coming on the other day. So I'm probably going to do that today. I'm also going to plant some squash today. Some more Epting green beans, probably some cowpeas as well. And some watermelon, some Ravencroft watermelon, which is a variety that Dr. Kibler gave me. We're going to try to save it. I think these might be some of the last seeds around, so hopefully we'll get some of those to actually germinate. But here is my herb garden. As you can see, I just weed eated so it looks a little green on top. There's not actually any weeds. I put that aquatic vegetation that I've been talking about on here, that I've been getting from Roots and Refuge, which is where I work, and it has just completely drowned out all the weeds. I mean, look how beautiful that looks. That I have not scuffle hoed this at all. Just early spring, I just put a bunch of those at aquatic. All right, well, I'm back. It actually is about 2 hours after I started this because my battery died as I was just standing here. Yeah, you're in it. Anyways, this is the herb garden. Right now I have in here lavender, some zinnias from last year popping up, some sage, lavender, some strawberries. These are some peppers that are just starting to take off really good. Planted something there, but it died. This is, I think, a Chinese sweet basil. That's a licorice basil. I have chives. This monster right here is an Illinois everbearing mulberry, which it may actually have some mulberries on it. They're on there, but they're not ripe yet. See them right there. Anyways, that's providing some good western shade. So it's really sunny out here. Sorry about that. The rhubarb it should start dying back. Actually, it just got transplanted this year. Variegated basil, little strawberry, Genovese basil, strawberry. Some more basils. This right here is a lemon thyme. Smells really good. This is a lime thyme right here. It's formed a mat and there's no weeds growing up through this at all. I don't really know. It'd be good with tea or something maybe. Maybe some alcoholic drink. Ooh, a sage blossom. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Sorry if there's any shadows in this, y'all. I'm trying to be conscious of it, but it's like a 3-year-old sage plant. All these thymes right here are 2 or 3 years old. They actually were transplanted from when we moved here. I'm having a really tough time with my camera today. As y'all saw, it's like, I think there's water or something in the lens. I'm not quite sure. Let me know if y'all are camera people, because I am not. We're walking on the other side of my house. We're on the south side now. This is my main annual garden that's protected from deer, at least. Got the rabbit fence on the bottom. It's also protected from rabbits. Some purple cabbage right here. Not sure if that's gonna bolt before I actually get any. Asparagus is looking really healthy. I weed eated in here this morning and I forgot this one path. I hate when that happens. All my lettuce is going to seed. This was all lettuce. Did pretty good though. More red cabbage here. I left some weeds on the edge right here because I'm gonna come probably later today and turn these upside down and let the sun dry out the roots, because it's not supposed to rain, I don't think, tomorrow. I gotta check again. Some more strawberries here. few cowpeas, and this right here is okra. Coming up, Kibler okra. I have a tomato right here. I just didn't have anywhere else to plant it. I need to come through here and trim the bottom leaves, and it's actually not growing anything in the armpits, but I believe these are Livingston butter beans right here. That or Chinese red noodle beans. One of the two. One's on either side. Some nasturtiums. I picked all the ripe strawberries off of here, but look at the size of these things. That's ridiculous. Something's eating them before they get ripe though, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. I got to do a lot more planting here probably today. I'm probably going to plant some green beans to fill the rest of this out. Bermuda grass. I'll get that later today too. Didn't pull up the root on that one. Potato from last year. Yeah, some more okra and cowpeas right here, but the rest of this, I'm going to pull these weeds today and plant Epting green beans in here. Another asparagus patch right here. Oh, and this is cool. I have no clue what this is. Let me know if y'all have ever seen this before. It almost looks like a pitcher plant or something. Or maybe a canna lily. I don't really know. But this just popped up in my garden. Never planted anything out here, I don't think, that would be this. I don't know. I have no idea what this is. So let me know if y'all have ever seen it before. Right here, some more okra and cowpeas. I really focus on those. Comfrey is looking really beautiful this year. The shadow is something else in here. But yeah, overall, this garden's looking really good. Just got to fill it out with some green beans, and we'll be good to go. When my battery died, I decided to do some planting over here. Planted some cucumbers and red Malabar spinach. I've done several rounds of cucumbers. And also over here, I had the tarp. I didn't film this at all, but I had the tarp over this. You see it sitting over there. I need to move it. And I just, it was a wood chip mound that I raked out flat. This is where my basil garden was last year. Anyways, I raked it flat, covered it with a tarp, and then I dug little holes and put compost in there, and I sowed pumpkin and watermelon in there. That's the Ravencroft watermelon and the Dutch Fort pumpkin, which are both heirlooms to this area. I think I've already showed y'all this. This is more garlic. More garlic scapes coming out. Need to get that today. I think I showed y'all the garlic up there. That's where that Illinois everbearing and all that is. I wish the camera would make it look as beautiful as it is. Pineapple quince, doing good. Bee balm, love the way this smells. Nanking cherry has been growing like crazy. That's what this is. That thyme actually looks a little bit kicked out. It's like a 3-year-old thyme plant. Got a little swell right here. Pretty much the only thing on that is rosemary at the moment. I'll show you all the bees over here. We're crossing my driveway. My house is behind me. I'm not going to do any drone shots in this video because I don't like my drone. It's very difficult to handle. That's a chestnut growing out of this little mound right here. It's in the cage. And the deer will try to knock down the cage. I'm actually probably going to come through here and cut off the tops of these cages. That way when the deer try to knock it over, they get stabbed. Because I mean, look at how sideways it is. Because they come in here and they try to eat my chestnuts. My chestnut leaves. So that's how I think I can deal with that. Here are the bees. There's a lot of them right there. I don't know what they're doing. These are a friend of mine. These bees are. They're not really mine. I don't really know much about them. But I'm going to put on my bee suit probably today and weed eat around these these hives. But one of the reasons I've been mowing in, like I'll mow one area on Wednesday and then I'll mow another area like Saturday. That way the bees can have more flowers. So if it looks a little funny around here the way the weeds are growing, that's why. This is the most active one right here, number 6. You can actually feel the air coming from them. We're getting into the area where I built a little food forest back in October. And I need to come through here with the lawnmower. You can't really tell much. We'll go walking in here just to, some of it's cut. But I planted trees that had got destroyed in Jess's orchard where I work. And there's a chestnut in there. It's actually doing pretty good. These Hungarian peas, I think that's what they are growing up. Or snow peas or something are growing up over the cage. There were a lot of cover crops in here. This is ryegrass, which I also planted. So nopales, prickly pear cactus. Where the mulch is that you saw in that establishing a food forest video, I'll put a link to it. That's where all the weeds are high, right here. But the trees, some of the trees are alive. Some of them, like I said, they were destroyed and we didn't know if they'd live anyways. Some of them didn't make it, but there's not much in there, I don't think. There's a big old, what's this thing called? Goji berry right here. Doing pretty good. Need to come through here with my folding scythe. I just do this 1 or 2 times a year where I have little plants and I'll use this thing and cut it. But be careful, I sliced my thumb open the other day when I was using it. Now we're back to a garlic patch. We're not back to. Lots of scapes coming off of these. Yeah, I'm gonna do that today, towards the evening. But all this right here is garlic. This was tarped over and I removed the tarp. I think I planted these like back in November or so. The garlic that I planted like straight in the ground didn't do very well. But the areas where I had mulch and then I tarped over it, those did really good. Like, see how there's hardly any weeds coming up through there. It did really good. Good garlic here. A lot of scapes on these, goodness. We'll have to make some garlic scape powder. I might grill some garlic scapes as well. Okay, well from here, I'm not gonna go on the other side of the house. Actually, we'll go over there. We'll go to the food forest first, the really old one, and then we'll loop back around and I'll show you all mega trellis, and we'll end it by mega trellis. We're still in this field right here. These are all sawtooth oaks right here. Been cutting through here. Oh, the dandelions look really nice in here. It's a big old American persimmon right here. More sawtooth oaks. This is a female persimmon. Produces some really good persimmons, but not a lot. Wonder if you can see. There's the buds. Persimmons. This is a little dewberry patch over here. But, ooh, I'm full of it. They're all over the place. Kind of hard to see probably on the camera. Oh man, yeah, we gotta come in here. I gotta pick these. I freeze these. I'm probably actually gonna put these in some mead. They're still a little sour, but they're juicy. Dewberries are hard because animals love them. So, y'all, this is the most difficult garden tour I've ever done in my life. My battery just died over there and it didn't make a single noise. So I toured the whole forest garden and I didn't record any of it somehow. All right. We're back where I was when it died, by the dewberries. We're going back through here. Kind of sucks because there were a lot of things I hadn't seen for the first time when I walked down here earlier, and now I've already seen them. Ooh, that's a mimosa. I didn't even notice that before. Some American beauty berries popping up. Mosquitoes start biting me, I'll have to get some of those. That's a beautiful hammock that we have back up in here. It's a nice place to take a nap. Ooh, some hostas I planted down here are actually still popping up. This is a red maple right here. This is a beautiful sparkle berry. Look at that. Loaded with sparkle berries. This thing hasn't actually produced in, I think, 5 years. Taylor thinks they taste like perfume. I think they're pretty good. They're in the blueberry family. That one right there is probably actually about 20 years old. They're very slow growing. So now we're back in the old forest garden. This one I started building about 5 years ago. There's lots of American persimmons popping up through here everywhere. These are black locusts right here. It's like a little grove in here. This is the original black locust tree that I planted, and it has spread throughout here. It's a little jujube that I have planted in here. I got this from Hallman Farms in Little Mountain, South Carolina. I don't think they carry that type of jujube anymore, but he's working on getting some tiger tooth jujubes, which he let me have a few of. You can't order it online. I'm sorry about that. I don't think yet, but I'm excited to try those. We planted some at Jess's. A little peach tree here. No peaches on it though. We had a really weird spring in February. It was very warm, and then it got really cold in March, so it was kind of an odd year. Hard year for nurseries. There's a wormwood growing right here. This is a beautiful plant. Love the foliage. It has an odd smell. That's about 3 years old. Grows really good here. This food forest is mostly turned into blackberries. That's a little fig trying to outcompete stuff. But it's just a ton of blackberries in here. And little sumacs, sweet gums. Actually, not a ton of sweet gums in here anymore. The first couple years, there were sweet gums trying to pop through, and I clipped them all, and they mostly have stopped growing in here. It's mostly sumacs popping up, and there's a plant called Eastern Bicharis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's trying to grow up through here as well, but it only gets to about 15 feet high. There's a couple of winged elms. There's some American sycamores and stuff down there coming up through this. Maybe some hazelnuts. This is a mountain mint, native to the Appalachians. It's a beautiful plant. I love mountain mint. It can outcompete the weeds here. That was a big thing that I was trying to do in this garden, just trying to figure out what to grow. I didn't know anything about growing anything, honestly. Or how things grew, what grew first. And this has taught me a lot, especially like how blackberries come up and then trees come up through the blackberries. It'll teach you a lot when you start a food forest. This is this is a good place to experiment. Just figuring out, like I said, what grows good here, what can handle weed competition, what needs to be pruned around a lot more. So it's useful that I did all this. I just noticed there are some elephant garlics that I planted down here like 2 years ago, and their blooms are sticking out over the blackberries over here. I'll show you that in a second. This is a hazelnut, finally out competing the briars a bit. What I'll do a lot of times, I've talked about this in a lot of videos, but I'll let the briars grow, or the blackberries grow around the tree that I plant. That way they're a little bit protected from the deer. A lot of times in the winter, the deer will come down these pathways, and when they have antlers, they'll come through here and they'll rub their antlers on the tree, and it'll girdle the tree. They've actually killed some of my trees before. So, and they'll eat them. They'll eat the leaves as well. So I basically use blackberries as a mechanism to keep the deer off my trees, and it works really well. The only problem with doing that is other trees also like to grow through the blackberries. So once a year after the season, before the leaves fall off, that way I know what I'm cutting, I'll come through here with some extension pruners and I'll reach into the blackberries and I'll trim all the trees that grow around this that aren't the ones that I want to grow. So this hazelnut's right here, but you notice there's no more. There's a pine tree coming up right here. It's probably a first-year pine, and I'll cut that this fall. Well, there's no sumacs or anything coming through here because I've just come through here at the end of the season with the extension pruners, and I cut them, all the trees. And eventually what you planted will grow up over the blackberries, and you have deer protection at the same time. But you just have to manage the other trees that'll pop up around it. If when I do this in the future, I'm going to make it where I can cut around every tree, but I'll probably still actually allow some blackberries to grow up through it, because just this little bit of briars right here will really discourage deer from eating it. So it's all about the edge when it comes to food forests. Here's a pretty rose that I just drive my lawnmower around. And it's all one rose, but it has white flowers and it has pink flowers. Pretty cool. But yeah, here's the garlic. I planted this like 3 years ago. See it coming up through here. And I saw that one right there. Let me see if I can get it in the sky for you. Yeah, that right there. It's a garlic coming up through. There's a beautyberry growing right beside it. Look at those honeysuckles. Honeysuckles and blackberries, that's the name of this year. And all of those dewberries down there, which I can't remember what I had said to y'all before because I've already walked through here one time. So if I repeat things and I have to edit it weird, I'm sorry. I try to make these garden tours where they're just one long stream of consciousness from me, and I'm not editing it, but when you keep having issues like I've been having here, I might have to edit it some. But after I end this video, I'm going to plant squash, watermelon, harvest some dewberries, I've already harvested strawberries, and garlic scapes. All right, look at here. Beautiful daylilies. That is going to be one thing this fall. I'm going to come through here and I'm going to dig these out, and I'm going to transplant. I've already been doing this to a smaller extent throughout the years, but I'm really going to try to put daylilies everywhere because the flowers are just so good in salads. I feel like I could serve these to restaurants if inflation's ever fixed, but that's, and that's not going to happen. Anyways, I would just love to transplant these everywhere because they compete with weeds so well. They form little colonies, if you can see like that. They grow in roadside ditches around here. You can eat the flowers, you can eat the leaves. So I'm going to grow a lot more of those. Puggle was just drinking out of my pond. There's cattails in there. It's a big old black willow. I'm really paranoid that my camera's going to cut off again and I won't know it. That is a red mulberry. But again, the spring was very weird and it's not fruiting at all. But The red mulberries aren't very good anyways. It's more for the birds. Look at all those blackberries in there. All up through there. We'll have gallons and gallons of blackberries. It's an American sycamore right here. Some birches coming up through here. I don't have a ton planted in here. There's American persimmons, but I will probably selectively cut down a lot of this stuff in the next few years. There's an Osage orange. That was actually originally a strawberry tree, cherry tree, and the Osage orange grew out the graft. But I like Osage orange, so I'm good to have that there. It's a good tree to have on your property. This is a medlar. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna grow a lot more of these up closer to the house. It doesn't really like a lot of weed pressure, but it is surviving. So that means if I actually care for it, it'll probably actually do a lot better. And right here is a rabbit eye blueberry. Also thriving under weed pressure fairly well. I think I'm actually gonna dig this one up and move it to the house. Like this is one that just grew by itself. I didn't plant this rabbit eye right here, and it's competing with everything. So I'm gonna grow a lot more of those. Little pawpaw. Lots of privet, American persimmon. There's a big oak tree. A lot of stuff growing around it. But I will have to come through here in a few years to come through here and cut down all the pine trees and stuff growing up, and then allow the pawpaws to have more light at that moment. When they're young, they do not like to have a lot of light. They like to be shaded. So, and they also like to be planted in clusters. That one's just a solitary pawpaw, and I don't think it's very happy because of that. Right there is a blooming elderberry. When I came down here and started the video the first time, that was the first time I had seen that. So we're actually going to harvest some of that sometime soon. It could probably use even a few more weeks. But if there was a weird edit right there, it's because my battery died again. Oh my gosh. It's been like 3 hours that I've been trying to make this video. But if y'all want to send somebody some GoPro batteries, I'm your guy. GoPro 10. Anyways, this right here is a giant silverberry. Came down here earlier looking for, there were some berries on it, but it looks like the deer have found it for good. And there's no more berries, but this is a huge plant. It's in the Eleagnus family, which some of them are considered invasive, but a lot of people say this variety is not. But if it's an edible plant and it's invasive, I kind of want it. But that's a different video. Anyways, a beautiful plant. I mean, it's like the bottom of the leaves are like, you never forget that when you see that. So I'm actually going to cut this video a little bit short down here in this garden. Some muscadine growing up through here because the sun is out and it keeps overheating my camera. I'm basically going to run up to the mega trellis up there and show y'all that. It's the lavender blooming down here. Oh, that smells so good. But there's a lot more I could show you in this garden. A lot of it's kind of grown up and you can't really tell anyways. If y'all have any questions about this garden, put them in the comments. There's a little American persimmon grove that's popping up over here on this side, which I'm really happy about. Another Eleagnus silverberry starting to finally grow. Yeah, that's all an American persimmon grove right down there. Got a few things planted in here. There's peaches throughout here. These are hazelnuts right here. These are right against the edge of the trail, so I can maintain this stuff a lot better and cut around it. The hazelnuts don't like too much weed pressure, so that's one that's growing pretty good. It's a European hazelnut right here. That's doing good. And this is a honeyberry, which I transplanted back in the fall. And it's not too happy right here, but eventually it'll get happy again. This is a flying dragon, Poncirus trifoliata wild lemon. I'm really excited to try this. I think this would be a fun plant to, Taylor makes cleaners out of lemons and oranges and stuff. I wonder if you could make them out of this wild stuff. So I'm really interested to see what she can do with that once we finally get some. This stuff grows around here. If you find pawpaws, a lot of times you'll be able to find the flying dragon tree down in floodplains in the south. There's some just some regular mint popping up around it too. All right, I'm gonna say one more thing about this trail right here, and then we're gonna cut to the mega trail that's up here by the house. When you have property, one thing that I have started to do, and I wish I would have done a little bit more of, is when you have a trail like this that's already being maintained with a bush hog or something, go ahead and plant trees on the edges of it, because you're already maintaining this edge of the tree. The tree won't have, therefore the tree that you plant on the edge will not have weed pressure on this side where you're already cutting. So I've planted some stuff like pears, persimmons, and mulberries on this edge right here. And it's just a really, it's like passive management, because this is already going to be cut. So just another little thought when it comes to edge management. Edges are really important in permaculture teachings and stuff. But all right, we're going to cut it, and then we're going to be at the mega trellis. And we're back at the mega trellis by the house. Here we have some transplanted sweet peas that I got from Jess's that are coming up. Some tomatoes that I just planted last week are looking really well. I got those from Bowers Farms. I had planted a lot of tomatoes that I got from Jess's, and my grandma got me some as well. Sorry, I ran up here. Anyways, I cracked eggs in the hole where I planted the tomatoes, and the dogs dug up and killed a lot of them. So I had to go get some replacements. But there's a couple of them that did live, and they're looking good now. And the replacements from Bowers Farms are looking really good also. So, but not quite to the point where I have to trellis them. These are Armenian cucumbers. I just weed eated this morning. Silver slicer cucumbers. More silver slicers, more tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. This is Apios americana that I got from Dr. Kibler. That's the groundnut, which was a Native American crop. It was their potato apparently. So we have that. I'm gonna put this tassel into my shirt. I think it's bumping my mic. Another white sweet pea right here. Look at that view, y'all. That is beautiful. I think this is about 25 feet long. Maybe a little bit longer because the panels hang over the edge. Actually, it's 32 feet long because the panels are 16 feet apiece. Let's see. More tomatoes here. That was one of the original ones. Need to get the leaves off the bottom. More tomatoes. And all this right here is tromboncino squash and tomatoes along this edge. That's pretty much all there is for the rest of it. But I just was planting some seeds this morning. This little trellis thing I have here with this little raised bed that was made out of my grandma's compost container. I got tomatoes. The dogs couldn't dig this one up. And Malabar spinach here. And then over on this side we have cucumbers and another tomato here that did live. And we are back at this garden. I want to show y'all, there's a lot of muscadines growing right here. These are the black ones. I can't ever remember if it's scuppernong or muscadines or what. Sorry. But yeah, little fruits all over this. The other one over there by the herb garden has got a lot more fruit on it. But it's all on the new growth. So pruning it worked really well. Pretty much. So like I clipped it like right there. Right, I left one trailing vine, and then I clipped all the branches, and each one has at least 2 clusters on it. So that worked out really good. That pruning did. Lots of them growing. Last year I had cowpeas and scuppernongs that were ripe at the same time that I was harvesting right there. It was really cool. And it was growing up in the okra. More Apios americana growing up through here. I'm really excited. This stuff grows fast. Really excited for that. Give y'all one last view of the fenced-in garden. And I want to show y'all this little area right around my house. I also use that aquatic vegetation to drown out the grass right here, and it really drowned out a lot of it, but some of it did pop up through. It was really tall when I originally put it down. So I will come through here and probably actually have to weed again, but look at that thistle. That's gorgeous. I saw a hummingbird the other day in a thistle. But this variety just has beautiful foliage. I know y'all probably hate thistles, but I think they're pretty. And they're good for some animals. But yeah, dusty millers, lots of chestnuts coming up through here. Planted some marigolds the other day. That primrose has been going crazy. I'm gonna plant a lot more of that in yarrow. Marigolds, put some apple mint here. There's my Japanese persimmon. And we're back where we started with the strawberries and the herb garden and the mulberry right there. I let my squash rot. Big dummy. But yeah, I want to show y'all this muscadine because this one is loaded. Look at all that. I know it's hard to see, sorry. Let's see if I can, yeah, it's just, I mean, the vine just has them all over it. Unfortunately, my dog loves muscadines, but they're not supposed to eat them. And he like jumps up here and tries to eat them. We have to smack him. Just a lot of it growing though. I'm on the wrong side of the sun. You can see it a lot better through there. And it's got one leader right there, one right there. And then there's one down here and one up here on this end. But lots of grapes. Muscadine grapes. If y'all don't live in the South, you probably don't have these. But they are a unique crop to the South that I love. Well, I think that's about it. I'm not going to show y'all that side of the house. It's just a lot of roses, which are, I mean, that's pretty cool too. But my camera's just getting hot and I don't have a lot of battery left. So hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm going to go have me some lunch and I'm going to get back out here and I got a lot of harvesting to do. See y'all tonight. That's probably, or Sunday morning. See y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.